They called us the Bloody Hundredth.
¿Qué ver? Con MaVi Gangi.
We spent the last 3 or 4 years working on this documentary and looking for interviews that were done by different veterans from the 100th Bomb Group, some of whom are no longer with us. We did make a companion documentary to Band of Brothers 20-something years ago, and very happy to have made a companion documentary to this miniseries as well.
People know part of the story, they think they know, but then comes the documentary, and then now you know like the whole truth, it's revealing.
Well, and I hope what people see when they watch the documentary is how right the series got it, how authentic the series was, me personally, I happen to have been on set and I saw how they shot those sequences where they were flying, and when I watched them, I thought they were unbelievable and very visceral, and it felt like you were really there. And I know I've talked to several veterans who were there, and when they watched the first episode, they could not believe how real it was, and they felt like they were right back there. So yes, I'm really happy that this documentary gets to tell the story of the 100th Bomb Group, which clearly the series also does as well.
How difficult it was, because some of them were alive, but they're like organized. I mean, you can Google and find a website also about them.
The 100th Bomb Group Foundation, right now, Rosie Rosenthal's son is one of the people who runs the foundation. He was very instrumental in helping us find some of these interviews that were done in the past. Some were done in the 80s, some were done in the 90s, some in the 2000s, 2010s. A lot of people did interviews with a lot of these veterans before, hoping to capture their thoughts and their experiences before they passed away. I did an interview with 2 different veterans who were still alive today. John Lucky Luckadoo, who is all throughout the documentary. He was 100 when I interviewed him. I interviewed him for 4.5 hours, and he could have kept going. And then Bob Wolf as well. I did an interview with him up in Oxnard, California, and he was 101 at the time, I believe. So yeah, it was great to still hear to get to interview them and hear their stories.
That's amazing, because you think that being 100 years old, you're not gonna be able to talk as much about something that happened 50 years ago.
What I have found in reading Harry Crosby's book is that one of the things, and I found this also meeting Lucky and Bob Wolf, is that one of the things they really remember are the missions, right? This may have been 80 years ago, but and maybe they don't remember some of the mundane things that happened, but they remember the missions. They remember what they were asked to do. They remember, the harrowing experiences. They remember trying to get back home, flying back home. So they remember the missions, and Harry Crosby says that in his book as well. So I don't think those ever go away from you. And I do know, Lucky says this in our documentary, that this was a life changer for them. This, the amount of time, I believe Lucky was there a year before he went back home. And that year certainly changed who he was. And those experiences, were life changers for him.
And it makes me wonder if you, as a documentarist, will like to do something more, that you find out talking to them that there's part of the story that hasn't been told in some kind of way, and that you're eager for more.
I'm always eager for more World War II, that's for sure. I'm always eager to learn more about what happens in all the armed forces. I must admit to you, I did not know much about what went into being part of a crew of a B-17, what it really meant to get into that plane and fly over Germany and drop your bombs and come back, and how harrowing that was, and what the chances were that you were going to be killed, captured, or injured. I did not know that until I started this project. So that's why I like making documentaries. I get to learn about someone's experiences and what they went through and understand and hopefully convey that to the audience as well, what they went through.
Airmen from 40 American bomber groups bled and died in staggering numbers in air combat. One of these groups suffered so many casualties, it became known as the Bloody Hundredth.
The men and the women of the Air Force really paved the way for air superiority over Germany.
The people we served with sacrificed everything. They called us the Bloody Hundredth.
¿Qué ver? Con MaVi Gangi.